Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to talk about why we love tragic movies so much and how it affects us. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So what draws us to tragic stories? I've recently wondered why I love stories that make us hurt and why they stay with me the longest. Maybe it's the fact that it makes us feel something. Or maybe it's just the tragic beauty of it all. Maybe it's the fact that they slow down life when in reality that life feels fast. While all these may be true, I think the most common is that these movies and books give us permission to feel grief openly and safely. Let me explain. In real life, when we feel a strong emotion or we're grieving, we can't just hit the pause button or close the book and give ourselves a moment of peace from the story. Books, however, movies, they can do that. We can pause the movie and let ourselves sit there with the feeling or regather ourselves. With books, we can close the chapter or choose to stop for the night when we're feeling a little too emotional about it. They let us cry and feel on our own terms and control the chaos of the emotions, all while knowing that we'll be okay when the credits roll or the last page is turned. So maybe that's why we seek them out. Not because we like the pain, but because feeling it is important and we recognize the truth in it. Pain means we cared, and grief means something mattered. There are many different things in tragic stories, and all of them are important on how and why we connect to them. And I'm going to use my trusty notes to help explain it. And yes, Stitch is on the cover of these notes. The first one is catharsis. If you don't know what that is, that's a heavy release of all the repressed and kept in emotion. So it can be let out as a cry, a sigh, both. Even if you've seen Inside Out, you've seen that in the movie. But these movies give us permission to do that. So when we cry during a story, it's not just the sadness, it's the release. Crying is a type of release, and it's good for you. And tragedy gives these emotions that we may keep to ourselves a voice, and it gives us permission to release them, whether we realize it or not. Then there's empathy. We don't just watch or read stories. We always find a character that we connect with because we see parts of ourselves in these characters and these people that we may not always show even to ourselves. It makes us feel something for the characters, and it may turn those characters into someone we look up to or that we want to be more like. Or they just mirror our personality in general. This strengthens emotional understanding and helps us connect more deeply to people in our real life. The next one is control. As I've mentioned before, it gives us control of not what we feel, but how we feel it and kind of express it. Real life can toss all the bad things at us. Loss, stress, love, illness, it'll just do it all. And we can't control that. But these stories, we have to open the door in order to feel this, and it's like we have control over it now, as opposed to life just throwing it at us and us being on this emotional roller coaster. So yeah, like I said, we can pause, we can step back, we can close the book, and we can rewatch it when we're ready. There's no pressure and no expectation. We can just feel at our own pace. For some of us, watching these can be almost like an emotional rehearsal. It could be learning to face sadness and loss on our own terms before maybe it even happens. The fourth one is meaning. So tragic stories often leave us asking why. Why did this happen to them? Why did it end like this? And in searching for that answer, we find something even more powerful. And it's that love, it's the connection, it's the fact that even though life can suck sometimes and it hurts, that it's still worth living, because if it hurts, that means something mattered. So the next one is growth. When we watch a movie, when we read books, we see these characters go through and survive so much, or even just try to stay positive through it. And it gives us hope that maybe we can too. And it's not escapism per se, it's just emotional training. It's like we heal with them, and each story becomes a quiet rehearsal of resilience, showing that, hey, if they did it, maybe I can too, sort of thing. The same way that people on social media share their stories that you feel less alone, these characters do the same for us, even if they are fictional. The next one is emotional honesty. So a lot of the time, unfortunately, we don't tend to talk about or share the things that happen in tragic movies, but also happen in real life. For some of us, especially guys, they say emotions make you weak, and it doesn't. It's just reality. You are allowed to feel. And these stories give us permission to do that because the fiction of these stories tells truth. It tells you things that society often does not like to talk about. Illness, loss, things like that. And it's understandable, but these stories give us an outlet for experiencing these things before they happen. And these stories give a safe space for everyone, to grieve, to laugh, to hurt, to smile. It just gives us an emotional outlet when reality tends to shut that down. And the last one is connection. We're not the only ones watching this movie. If this movie isn't just for us, there are hundreds of people around the world that have watched this movie as well. And even in the stories, the characters going through what they're going through, they're not alone. And it reminds us that we are not alone. These stories create an emotional thread that there was someone else out there that watched the same scene and felt the same ache that we did. And it's proof that emotion connects us more than we think, even when society tries to shut them down. And shared ache turns isolation into a feeling of belonging and understanding. So these are all the reasons that we love to watch tragic movies and books so much, because they give us an outlet, they give us a sense of belonging and togetherness, even if we don't entirely know it. They give us permission to feel emotions that the world usually tends to ignore or tell you to keep to yourself. And honestly, the characters themselves make you feel less alone if you do. And they make you feel when sometimes that's hard to do in the society we live in. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed the little psychology lesson. Be sure to join me next time when we're going to be watching Fault in Our Stars. I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye!